In this video, I'm going to show you a vintage Singer foot hemmer, or hemmer foot, and it's already on the machine. I'm using the 1947 Singer model 6616, and this is the side clamping. I believe they also came in the back clamping style for the earlier 66s. You will see that there is a toe section on the right. There is a tube or funnel shape in the middle, and then there is another toe section. And to use this foot, it really makes a narrow hem. And you need to, either with an iron or by pressing with your hands, you need to fold over the end of your fabric by 1/8 of an inch, and then fold it over again by 1/8 of an inch. And then you place it under the presser foot, right about there, so that the needle is going to pick up excuse me, a couple of stitches right here. Now I think you can see the way that I have that set up. I'm going to take the first couple of stitches like that. And then what the instructions say to do is to hold on to the two threads in the back as you're going to pull this through. And what you have to do is take your folded over hem, and it goes underneath the tube part and over the little metal part to it on the left. And to get it started, you might want to use a pin or an awl or something like that to get the fabric laid in there correctly. Now I have the presser foot up, and my thread might have gotten caught on the foot, but I'm not sure. So yeah, the thread got caught a little bit on the foot, so let me change that. And I'm wondering why that wouldn't happen all the time. But it must, my thread must have just gotten in the way. Like that. Let's see if that does it. Yep, that does it. Okay, so now I can pull the fabric toward the back. You see, just that little bit of lifting the needle will make a difference, because the bobbin thread was sticking. So now I have it set up correctly. I put the needle thread down through the slotted area of the foot, and what I have to do, I took my couple of stitches, and I now take this folded area, and it has to go, as I said, under the tube area and over the other metal part. And you can use the threads in the back to pull it like that, just like that. So you want to give yourself, if you have, say, a dress to hem or curtains to hem, you want to make sure that you leave yourself enough fabric on the edge so that you can get this started in the foot. Now I happen to have pressed this earlier, but it's been sitting here for a while, and it kind of relaxed. So what you're supposed to do is pull the fabric back using your two beginning threads as you sew, and with your left hand, what I'm going to do is hold the fabric down just a little bit so that it feeds evenly. That's the point. So this would be easiest to use with an electric machine or a treadle machine. A hand crank, this might be a little bit more difficult because you'd be cranking and you'd probably be pulling from the back, and you wouldn't have an ability to guide it. So you might want to go slower if you were using a hand crank machine. Now see, it fell out of the foot. And so you have to, it goes right back in there. Now, I had done a similar video with a generic hammer foot yesterday or the day before, and I found that one a little bit easier than this one because the fabric stayed right in the center. Maybe that's just a personal preference or how I was using it. But in my case, if I were using this to hem something, it looks like I would have to stop every few inches and line it back up again. And I know I'm doing it right, so I don't know why it's falling out of there. It might be easier if I actually really pressed the hem to be done. But supposedly the beauty of this foot, presser foot, is that you don't have to do that. And that could be what I'm not doing right. I'm pulling it straight towards the back, and if I pull the rear fabric toward the left a little bit, that automatically keeps it in the foot a little bit better. I would have to practice with this. It's an easy foot to use. It could be the way I have the muslin pressed, and it did hem. It did hem it. There's a nice narrow hem, so it does work. But I had to stop every couple of inches and make sure it was in the foot correctly. And I think that once, if I used it more often, and now you can see better the shapes of it, if I used it more often and I was used to it, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem at all.